So do you know what you want to order yet, Edna?
I'm still looking.
Did I tell you that my granddaddy was the engineer on a private train owned by one of the richest men that ever passed through Copper Gorge? Jake Hurley was his name. Yes, sir, my granddaddy was Jake's private engineer for more than 25 years. Told my daddy that men don't come any crazier than Jake Hurley, or any nicer. Treated my granddaddy real well, and told him stuff. Real important stuff. Stuff he made my granddaddy swear to never ever forget. Stuff that my granddaddy told my daddy, and that my daddy told me. Why don't you get the egg salad, Edna? Eggs are back to being good for you, you know. Seems like just last year all those scientific types were saying your arteries would clog up if you so much as looked at an egg. But nowadays, well, all of a sudden eggs are chock full of vitamins and proteins, and eating them's not only okay, it's what they recommend. They should either make up their minds or keep their mouths shut. Make eating more pleasant, that's for sure. Yes, sir, Jake Hurley told my granddaddy things he never told another living soul. Not even his wife. I tell you about her, Edna?
I don't think so.
Camille was her name. Camille Boulet. That's French, you know. Of course, she died so young that poor Jake didn't have time to tell her anything. According to my granddaddy, one summer day she had a dizzy spell and fell and hit her head. She didn't take well to the heat, see, and sometimes in the summer, when they were going through the desert, why, that train'd be just like an oven. Anyway, Granddad said she got right up afterwards and seemed okay. But a couple hours later, Jake found her in her room, dead as a doornail. Now there's another expression that kind of makes you wonder. Dead as a doornail. How can something be dead if it was never alive to begin with? And why a doornail? Why not something else that begins with a D? Like dish rag or dust mop. Dead as a dust mop. That's kind of got a ring to it, don't you think? The way my granddaddy died, that was kind of strange, too. I ever tell you how my granddaddy died?
No, I don't think you did.
My daddy, he came home from school one day to find a railroad official telling his mom that Granddad been found dead in Blue Moon Canyon, Nevada. He was in the engine of Jake Hurley's train, just kind of slumped over with his hands still on the throttle. The strange thing is, nobody else was on board the train, yet the door to the engine was locked and barred. It was like Granddad was trying to keep someone out, like he was running from something, like something finally scared him so bad his heart just stopped. Of course, he was in his 60s at the time, and back then that was old. Doesn't seem so old now, does it, Edna? Here I am pushing 93 and still spry as a spring chicken. Spring chicken! Now where do you suppose that expression came from? Why not spring goose or summer chicken? Ah, life's just one puzzlement after another, isn't it, Edna?
Hey, look, Mr. Temporary Cook Person. If I served this, my customer would throw a fit. Just make me what's on that check, okay?
That cook had better get on the stick, or we're all gonna go deaf out here. I ever tell you about the mine my granddaddy said Jake Hurley found?
He found a mine?
A couple years before he died, Granddad told my daddy that Jake found a vein in the mountains somewhere and was mining it all by himself, so no one would steal it out from under him. He wouldn't even tell Granddad where the mine was. What he'd do is have Granddad drive the train real slow so he could jump off without Granddad seeing him. Then Granddad would pick him up at a prearranged spot a few days later. Oh, they didn't call him Crazy Jake Hurley for nothing. Speaking of crazy, you see how much Abner's charging for a haircut at that shop of his now? $20! But what's even crazier is people are actually paying him that. I told him the only way I'd pay him $20 would be if I came in with hair down to my knees. He just laughed and said I was a crazy one. $20 for a haircut? What is this world coming to? But the craziest thing Jake Hurley ever did was tell Granddad the secret to finding his mine. He made him swear to tell it to my daddy and nobody else. Eventually my daddy, he told me and it was so bizarre that I remember it to this day, though I sure don't understand how it'd help anybody find his mine. But since my daddy didn't tell me not to tell anybody, this is what Crazy Jake Hurley told Granddad, word for word. The eye of the tiger is fixed on a star. Zircon lies in fingers that scar. Amethyst floats in a hand from the deep. Citrine is what the foul mouth shall keep. Tourmaline by a soft arm is ensnared. Peridot rests at the foot of the mare.
The eye of the tiger is fixed on a star. Zircon lies in fingers that scar. Amethyst floats in a hand from the deep. Citrine is what the foul mouth shall keep. Tourmaline by a soft arm is ensnared. Peridot rests at the foot of the mare?
Frank, are you sure that's what he said?
I'm positive.
Are you sure that's all he said?
Look, this guy was old, okay? I mean, we're talking Jurassic. And guys that old don't joke around. They don't have time to. What you just heard is what I heard, word for word.
Got anything else?
I almost forgot. You gotta check this out.
It's just an old letter, Frank.
You bet it's an old letter. From Samuel Clemens.
Oh my gosh, where'd you get this?
I found it in the caboose.
Apparently he and Jake were pen pals.
Wish I had a famous writer for a pen pal.
When Joe gave it to me, I about flipped. I know I should turn it over to Lori, and I will, but it's just so darn cool.
I still don't see what the big deal is. I mean, it's not like it's from Mark Twain or anything. What?
See you later.
You know where to find us.
If there's a hidden message here, I'll never find it at this rate. Wisdom, charity, purity, eternity.
More questions?
You didn't go on Tino's expedition to Jake's mine?
Please. The man barely knows where his head is. If he's the one who finds that mine, I'll eat my laptop.
I'll touch bases with you later.
My publisher thanks you.
A spyglass. I'll bet it's the one I need for Jake's projector. More pipes. Why am I not surprised? That should do it. If I had a lamp, this is where I'd put it. Okay, looks like that goes there. This goes here. There's still water in it, which means it must be out of carbide. There, it should work now. I need to find the gemstone that goes here. Whoa, looks like I did something right.
Yes?
I hear Tino took you and John on a trek to Jake's mine.
Jake's mine, my eye. We went tramping through the snow, lugging all this equipment John insisted on bringing, and where do we end up? At this teeny tiny, half-rotten, tumble-down outhouse.
He led you to an outhouse?
Well, he said it was the opening to a mine shaft, but then John said if it was, shouldn't the hole be going into the mountain instead of just down? So they stood there arguing until Tino finally grabbed a shovel, went inside, and started digging. What he found was definitely not gold.
What did John say?
He called Tino a moron, and a whole lot of other things I'd rather not repeat.
Guess I'd better get to work.
As soon as you figure it out, let me know.
What's up?
I hear Tino took you and Lori for a little hike today.
Don't remind me. Turns out Tino had no idea where he was going. Good thing for him, my fingers were frozen stiff. Otherwise, I would have strangled him.
Well, I'll catch you later.
Pleasure talking to you. I moved my microphones, so if you want to play the piano, knock yourself out.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
See you later.
If you need anything, just let us know.
And naturally, we have still more pipes. There, that looks right. Sounds like steam from the engine is moving through those pipes now. Finish that. Can't check that up. Finish that. Check. I'm done with that. Finish that. Finish that. Check. Finish that. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Finish that. I'm done with that. Check. I'm done with that. Finish that. Finish that. Finish that. Check. I'm done with that. Check. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Check. Check. Finish that. Finish that. I'm done. Finish that. Finish that. Check. Check. I'm done with that. Finish. Check. I'm done. Check. Finish that. Check. I'm done with that. Finish that. Can't check that up.